Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rusty78609, and I'm leaving the most crowded grocery store I have been in a year. It's an HEB Plus, or whatever they call it, in Victoria, Texas. Folks, I don't know how you people do it that live in big cities. That's all I got to tell you. Man, it was slammed. I'm not even sure where I'm at here. I mean, I used to know this town because I lived here for 15 years. Well, I don't know it now. I'll guarantee you that. I mean, it is unbelievable. When I lived here I moved here in 1974. It was a small little town of about 35,000 people. Well, now apparently it's about 3 times that. Man. I just can't believe. Could I live in a big city? No. Not Naren. So I want to go. I love these deals here where you got an arrow that says straight only. What are you going to run straight into that building there? Anyway, enough said about that. The reason I went to this big store as opposed to the little store in Goliad, Texas, they have a little Lowe's grocery store there, is because the prices here are much cheaper. I needed to fill up with gas. Gasoline here is about 15 cents a gallon cheaper, and it was only 30 miles to drive over here, and I wanted to come see the town again anyway. So that's a lot of the reasons. But I didn't know it had grown this much. Maybe I saved a few bucks, but I did pay a price for it. But moving on with the day, this is New Year's Eve, guys, 2019. Tomorrow will be officially the year 2020. And yeah, so you people that make New Year's resolutions, I call them revolutions, you really get something started. Do it, but you can make a resolution anytime. I mean, it just seems like for some reason we've labeled the first of the year is the beginning of something, I guess, because it's easy to remember that date. But the reason I went to the grocery store here, another reason, was because I needed to buy enough of certain items that when I get down in the, like Choke Canyon, there's not going to be a grocery store at all hardly, and I needed to get some beer and wine and stuff, the important stuff, you know what I mean. And he's supposed to go straight, but that guy's not. He's going and turning. But having said that, we're moving along here. So I got plenty of beer, plenty of wine, and all that stuff. And today is Tuesday, so we're good to go. And then we'll do some family things maybe later on in the week, and that'll take care of that. And I do know some people that live here in this town because I did live here for a number of years. I worked at the newspaper, the Victoria Advocate, for 10 years. It's still here, but it's about 1/3 the size that it used to be. I'm going to go all the way through the Victoria. There's another shortcut that loops around the town. I'm not going to take that. I took it coming in, but I'm going to go back through the old downtown area or toward that area on the way out. Why? Because I just want to, I would say reminisce. Do I have a lot of good memories here in Victoria? A few, like anywhere else. It's like any town you've ever lived in. You make a mistake here and there, and then you don't. Everything works out. But we're moving along okay. I thought the traffic was going to be much worse going this way on this street. It's called Navarro. It's usually really busy, but it's not bad right now. New Year's resolutions. Am I going to make one? I don't. If there's anything I want to change, I'll change it any time. I'm not going to be worried about the first of the year, I can tell you that. But this trip, doing the state parks really has been working out okay for me so far. I was going to do a triking video at the park, but the temperature right now is about 50 degrees and got a little breeze out of the north, so I didn't want to do it. It was a little cool. I went walking this morning. I bundled up and went walking. If the temperature gets it's supposed to get up to like 64, 65 this afternoon. If the sun comes out, I may go do a triking video and then post it tomorrow. But we'll post this one today, and we haven't done a driving video in a while. So, I went by. There's the old Fannin battleground near Goliad State Park. They have a little memorial thing there, and I drove over there. It's about 11 miles from the park towards Victoria, so that worked out okay. And in fact, I'm going to go right up here at this red light if I can. I know y'all want to see the back of this guy's truck. but I'm going to drive by the city park here on Vine Street. But yeah, Fannin Battleground deal was closed. I don't know why it said open daily 8 to 5, and I was there at 10 a.m. Was it open? Nope. There went the mic falling around. I'm trying to keep it. If you get it too close, for some reason, using this phone, the Pixel phone, it makes a little strange noise. It may do it anyway, but that's the way that is. But here's something else. I went to the grocery store, the HEB. That's a family-owned thing in Texas. They have gas pumps, and they usually have the lowest price or close. And so I went to the gas pumps. It was like $2.19 a gallon, which is about 15 cents or 12 cents a gallon cheaper than Goliad. But that wasn't what I was going to mention. What I was going to mention is this: to get the gas pump to work, to get it on, I had to answer 6 questions. It was like I was being interviewed. First of all, you had to enter your zip code, which I understand that's a safety thing, and then it wanted to know if you wanted an additive, if you wanted a car wash, and what else? There was a couple other questions, and I thought, I felt like I'd been interviewed. I really did. But anyway, I got the gas, and that's enough said about that. We got a full tank of gas, plenty of beer, plenty of wine, and all kind of other stuff. I've gotten it in Goliad, all this, sure. Well, yeah, I could have actually. It was a little bit more expensive. I noticed the wine that I drank, they had it there at that grocery store in Goliad. It was $3 more a bottle. That's a little high. And then beer was about $2 more for the size deals that I buy. So anyway, I probably saved $10-12 and spent $4 in gasoline, $6, whatever. But again, we are in Victoria, Texas. Population of Victoria, Texas right now is about 68,000. That's just the city. The metro area is probably 150. Because there's a lot going on here. Even though this town is only 21 miles from the Gulf of Mexico as the crow flies, not driving, it's a busy little town. Why? Because they have large plants located on the Gulf Coast of Texas. They've got an Alcoa aluminum plant. They have a DuPont. They have a Union Carbide. They have Formosa Plastics. Formosa and Taiwan are the same thing. But Formosa Plastics, and it's huge. They got a place down there. You wouldn't believe it. The plant goes for miles. I mean, it's huge. They make plastic and plastic bags and all kind of plastic stuff. And it is a huge plant. In fact, it's owned by the Chinese, and they actually have a Chinese little village there, where they've got their own housing and all that stuff. And all the management at Formosa Plastics is all from China. And how we work that deal, who knows, man. There's things happening in this world that a lot of people don't know about. That's one more of them. But this street here is called Vine Street. And up here on the right, riding this rough road, is a city RV park, which is very reasonably priced. I think it's like, I don't know, $10 or $12 a day. It's got full hookups, water, septic, and electric, but you can't make reservations. It's first come, first serve, and that's the only downside, because sometimes it is crowded, particularly this time of the year, because the snowbirds, people from the northern USA coming south to get out of the cold winters, and sometimes you can come in here and there ain't no place to park. They do have an overflow area where you can park out on the end, but sometimes even that's taken. But this also gets me out of the traffic of the major streets in Victoria. Another thing good about this park, you may be able to see that little walking path on the right. Let me turn the camera just a touch. Maybe you can see that little concrete walking path there. That'd be great for triking or electric triking, or even walking. I walk it for exercise. I took a good walk this morning. And there's some great walking trails at Goliad State Park, and there's also some great trails for doing electric trike stuff or biking. There are, because some of them are paved, actually. So see, here you go to the right. It looks like every spot's taken. No, there's one. No, there's not one. So see, if I'd have pulled in here, I was thinking about coming over here and going potluck, But see, right now it's every spot's taken. Look at that guy. He's got that little old bitty camper in there. But, he's got a spot. Yep, and this is the time of the day that the people are moving, are usually moved. This street right here takes us kind of through the downtown, not downtown, but near downtown old area, the old Victoria area they call it. Off to the right here is one of the older cemeteries in the town. Some of those old graves go back to the early 1800s, late 1700s. When I was at the Vine Street Park, sometimes I'd walk through there. I don't know why. I always try to find the oldest tombstone. Those people are still waiting. For those of you that do Google Earth, let's see, we're at the intersection of Vine Street and Brazos. But Vine Street runs right on through and comes out close to the Guadalupe River Bridge, which I cross going back to Goliad. This part of the town I'm very familiar with, but the new section out there where I was, sheesh, a little bit lost there, guys, a little bit lost. Man, I'm telling you, I'm glad I left here. I hate to tell you, but I am. I know I got 2 sisters here and some friends, but I have no desire to live in this place because it is humid. It's just like Houston. It's it's just humid, crowded, busy. Out in that north section of town, it's very busy. Here, as you can see, you can fire a rifle and not hit anybody. They do have a Harley-Davidson dealer right straight ahead there, motorcycles. And then we got Riverside Park and the Texas Zoo and all that stuff. I remember when they opened the Texas Zoo, I went there one time and I never went back. Well, I don't like to see animals in a cage. I just don't. I mean, when you see a coyote in a cage, it's just kind of depressing because a coyote is one of the most, or the freest of the free spirits out there in the world. Looks like a skinny dog, that's all. This is the old way. This, if you came into Victoria 30 years ago, this was the way. You'd had to come through all of this on Highway 59 to get out the other side going to Goliad. Now they have a big loop around Victoria, and you take 59 and 77 and you go right around town. I could have done that, but I already done it. Up here on the right is it's called a Moo Moo. It's like a little Dairy Queen thing, where you get hamburgers and stuff. But they got the best fried chicken, boy. I mean, they got the best fried chicken. It's still there, too. And it ain't changed. That place is still the same as when it was 30 years ago. Anchor Lumber Yard still here. Good God. And this is, used to be, in fact, there was a big debate here. The bridge that was here crossing the Guadalupe River was such an antique that there was a big debate when they decided to build the new bridge. Everybody wanted to kind of try to modify the existing structure for the historical purposes or historical value. Didn't work. It's kind of hard to stop progress, folks. But now we're in an area where we're across Victoria now. I know where I am now. I used to go I had 2 homes. I built 2 homes, new homes, when I lived in Victoria. They were both off of Highway 236. One of them was, and you can look them up on Google Earth. One of them's a 2-story home on 229 John Wayne Trails. It's kind of a ghetto-looking area now, but at the time I was there, I was one of the only ones there. I had 10 acres of land, a lot of privacy, beautiful home. And then I had another home at 419A Wood Sprite Road, and I had 6 acres, and the home was right in the middle of it. And very private. You can't see it from the road. Had a swimming pool and all that stuff. So I've had the homes, guys, but I've got one now that I love more than any one of them. I'm happier in my casita, 84 square feet, than I was in either one of those monsters. That was the hamster wheel life. You really had to keep running to stay ahead of the debtor's prison. Man, and I was doing it too. I was making a lot of money, but I was burning it just as fast as it was coming in. Well, hell, at that house on John Wayne Trails, I had a new Cadillac. My wife had a brand new Suburban. We had a boat, 2 donkeys, a horse, 10 acres of land with a barn, and living the good life. Hell no, it was living a miserable life, man. I mean, we were bringing in a ton of money, and if I was a CPA, I should have known better, but I was burning it, man. I was at that age where you burn money, and by God, I did it. This is the way you would have turned to go to my home years ago. It's out near Mission Valley. Turn right there on 236 north. And it was from the newspaper I was working at to either one of those homes was 12 to 14 miles. Nice drive every morning. And and it was really, it's good to get home in the evenings because I had a, nice place, nice view, plenty of privacy. Yep, those were the good old days. Well, those were the days, my friend. We thought they'd never end. So we got 22 miles to Goliad from right here, which is okay, guys. We're going to be there in a little bit. I'll let this video run a little bit so you can see that Victoria, Texas is a very flat area. The whole area around is flat. Most of it was rice fields, and the further you go towards the Houston area, you get into a lot of rice fields around El Campo, Orton, going that way. And then, of course, you got Sugar Land, which, used to be a sugar mill thing, but they use sugar cane to make sugar, I believe. But the rice fields were all around here. And the reason is this was just black gumbo land, great rice farming area. Got a lot of rainfall, and still does. This area gets a lot of rain, about 2.5 times what I get up in the hill country. The further you go west, of course, the farther you get away from the Gulf of Mexico, the drier it gets. And Houston, Texas, folks, there's parts of Houston, Texas that's below sea level. Victoria, Texas has places that's 90 feet above sea level. Now where I live, near Mission Valley, which is it's not a town, it's just a name. The elevation there, I think, is about 200 feet above sea level. I think one of the highest I got was on John Wayne Trails. I think I was 280 feet above sea level. My nose used to bleed because it's so high. Yeah, but it had a beautiful view, man. It did. I had a patio on the front and back I could sit on and have a beer when I got home and watch the beautiful sunset. In the morning I could watch the sunrise. Yeah, it was well planned. Hell of a plan. But you cannot plan romance. Nope. When it's good, it's good. When it ain't, it ain't. We'll let this video go a little while. Why? Because I'm just burning daylight now. I'm fixing to go back to my home in Goliad. It's 11:25 a.m. now, and fix me something to eat. I got me some ham, and I got some eggs. I'm going to have me some ham, eggs, with refried beans and a piece of toast. I was going to get me a hamburger and french fries in Victoria, but I refused to go to all that extra effort. Just couldn't do it. So now we're on a nice 4-lane highway that's not too busy. But again, it is New Year's Eve, guys. Isn't that amazing? Tomorrow will be that year we've been wondering about, 2020. And that'll be if I live to my birthday, I'll be 75. My 75th year, maybe. But I got plenty of groceries. I don't know where I'm going to put all this stuff. But I know when I get down to Choke Canyon, there's nothing to really buy. There's no real grocery stores, nothing nice. In Three Rivers, Texas, that's the nearest place to go shopping from Choke Canyon. And then at Falcon Lake, the nearest community is about 15 minutes away. It's called Roma. They have a grocery store and several places to eat Mexican food. It's a fairly good sized little community, but everything's going to be a little pricier than it is here, including gasoline. And I'm semi-prepared for that. But we're cruising along here about 65 miles an hour. Believe it or not, that's light speed for me. But this is the Victoria, Texas area. When you get away from Victoria, going in any direction, you kind of get into some rolling hills as you move away from the Gulf of Mexico. But the closer you get to the Guadalupe River and the Gulf of Mexico, it just flattens out. Mosquito Haven, man, I'm telling you. So how has the trip been, Rusty, so far? I'd give it a 9. Yeah, it's working out pretty good. I've had some good campsites. I haven't had any noisy people around, a few kids, but that's not a problem. I actually enjoy it. It's a funny thing now about, at my age now, traveling and going to state parks as to what it was years ago. Years ago, I thought, man, they were just crowded and I didn't want to be there and stuff. But now, I actually enjoy watching the people, because there's a group that came in next to me yesterday. They're in a Class B, B as in boy, RV. I don't know what kind it is. It's not a road trek, but it's similar. And they're pulling an R-pod behind a little fiberglass thing that's just a bed area called an R-pod. And I think one of the people sleeps in there. But I think there's a man and wife, 3 boys, and 4 dogs inside that thing. And I haven't seen them come out much. So, but that's their deal. So I noticed things, and it's kind of entertaining. And then there were these 2 kids. I don't know what they're called, but they got 2 wheels and they're battery operated, or they got a board in between the wheels or whatever. And the way you move, they take off and stuff, But they were riding them around the park. They got all kinds of little flashing lights on them. I thought they were really neat. I'm not going to try it though. No, TrikeMan has limits. Anyway, guys, I better end this video. It's gone on a long time. But anyway, we're just crossing Colette Creek, headed towards Goliad. This is Rusty78609 saying, thumbs up, carpe diem, adios, bye-bye, buy anything you want, anytime. But if you think about it, use the link to Amazon products in the description of all of my videos. Why? Because I get a small, never mind, sorry. It doesn't cost you a penny. Drink plenty of water. 3 or 4 quarts a day won't hurt you. It's good for you. Help you avoid gout, kidney stones. Also help you lose weight because you'll be full of water. Take deep breaths. Breathe in really deep through your nose or your mouth. Doesn't matter. Hold it for a few seconds and then breathe out slowly. That relieves stress and that lowers your blood pressure. Very good for you. Then exercise, walk, stretch, swivel, all that stuff. Then stand guard at the door of your mind. Don't let negative Nancy or negative Ned get inside of your head. Accentuate the positive. Anyway, guys, and remember to